Marketing Edge ONTV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Babumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. Stanbic IBTC Nominees Limited has celebrated 3 decades of operations with a landmark gala in Lagos, reinforcing its reputation in Nigeria's capital market. And notably, the firm used the event to reaffirm its commitment to technology-driven, client-focused custodial services. Chief Executive Babatunde Majiyagbe stressed the company's zero tolerance for operational errors, while Wole Adeniyi highlighted plans to deepen innovation. Meanwhile, stakeholders say the milestone reflects the institution's growing role in supporting Nigeria's investment ecosystem. The heads of advertising sectoral groups HASG is calling for calm and renewed talks, insisting that collaboration remains the best path to industry stability. Therefore, the body said it has reviewed the concerns raised by the Advertisers Association of Nigeria (ADVAN) and the response from the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria (ACON). While backing the federal government's inauguration of the ACON Council, HASG maintained that ISOP remains vital for professionalism and sector growth. However, the group stressed that any concerns should be addressed through structured engagement, not disengagement. Consequently, HASG has invited ADVAN back to the industry table and plans separate consultative meetings with both parties, emphasizing that the sector is too important to be divided. Global Advertising Group (WPP) is rolling out an aggressive turnaround plan, and notably it is targeting £500 million in annual savings by 2028 after operating profit tumbled 71%. The company's latest results show revenue slipped to £13.55 billion, while profit dropped sharply to £382 million. Consequently, Chief Executive Cindy Rose described performance as disappointing, but insisted the group can fix the problem. Under the restructuring program, Elevate 28, WPP will simplify its structure into 4 core divisions and eliminate duplicated roles. Meanwhile, the firm plans to reinvest part of the savings into high-growth areas such as media, commerce, and AI-driven services.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
That was brand news. Next is branding focus after this break.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
Now, brand in focus. Nigeria's fintech sector is reshaping the nation's economy, driving financial inclusion and digital innovation. From less than 30% of adults using non-bank services a decade ago, fintech revenue has surged to over $543 million. The growth was boosted by the 2022 Naira redesign, smartphone adoption, and mobile money platforms. Nigeria now leads Africa in tech investment, attracting nearly 2/3 of $3 billion invested in African startups in 2022. Fintech goes beyond payments, helping small businesses, farmers, and youth access financial services. Experts say the sector faces challenges, including rural connectivity and smartphone access, but with supportive regulation and a young, tech-savvy population, Nigeria's fintech revolution shows no signs of slowing.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
That was branding focus. Next is industry conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. Today, we'll be having the concluding part of our conversation with the President, Experiential Marketers Association of Nigeria, and the lead strategist and consultant, Aster Integrated Marketing Limited, Tolulope Medebem. Join us after this break.
Good morning. Today's weather will be sunny with a high of 31 degrees.
Alexa, music please.
Playing workout music.
Striving for mastery? You need speed, precision, and clarity of purpose. They all add up. Talent is not enough. You've got to prove that you're able to take advantage of unlimited opportunities when they come. And to do that, you need plenty of data. Scratch that. You need unlimited data. And there's no better provider of unlimited data
Access granted.
than your all-powerful Glow router.
Whether home or office, enjoy unlimited data on a Glow router. Dial *312#.
You know, I've got unlimited eyes.
Glow Unlimited.
I'm still watching.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Thanks for staying with us. I still have Tolulope Medebem with us. Now let's talk about the professionals in the industry. It's very important we talk about them. What do you think are the challenges they're facing at the moment?
I think for most of us, I think the biggest challenges that we're facing right now is pressure, talent, and trust.
Is pressure a challenge?
It's a challenge because the pressure is, remember when we're talking about value, when I talked about return on investment, the pressure of explaining out or talking out the return on investment on an experiential activity that at the end of the day, it's long term. Does that make any sense? So now I have tight budgets. I have to ensure that activations run right. And I also have to ensure that the numbers are correct. It's a lot of pressure, I think. Mm-hmm. So that works as pressure.
Yes, it does.
So that's what I mean in terms of pressure. It's actually a lot of pressure. Because, I understand you when you say it's pressures. I love pressure. But then there are some pressures that keep you up at night. There are some pressures that keep you, so an activation is going on and you're not on the streets, but you're on your desk running the activation with them, crunching the same numbers with them. And you're not the ops person. You're not the head of strategy. You're not I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, the onus lies on you. You own the company, so the bulk of it is you. Because whether or not you like it, you are responsible for these people. You put them out there and you need to ensure that because for me, my people are as important as the client is and as the consumer is. So you are on that tightrope, trying to balance.
You also talked about talent.
Yeah, talent is a challenge we're all facing right now, and then that's something that as EXMAN we're also trying to what's the word now? We're also trying to see, because leadership in our own sector of the ecosystem, you're thinking to yourself, you're trying to walk through a succession plan. You understand? You don't want, because the company is not about you. For me, I don't want the company to be about me. It's not a one-man show. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So you have that, then you're thinking, how do you bring in the right resources? For us as Aster, for instance, we have what we call the DNA, Aster DNA, So the people that work for us are, and even if you don't have that there's something that connects you to us in a way, you understand. And past and present Asterians have almost, I think, in 7 years of us being Aster, for instance, not even the industry, I think we've just had a couple of misses and it's not been much. So probably like 2/100 you get. So that's very key. So once you are shopping for those, or you are trying to, so to also alleviate that to an extent, as EXMAN, one of the things that we're doing now is to kind of see how we can get into higher institutions and kind of like start building up our ambassadors from right from the uni, you know. So that's that. What was the third thing I mentioned? I talked about trust, maintaining brand safety, maintaining consumer loyalty, and then maintaining the trust of the client. Remember, we talked about value, and so that you are not coming with what I wanted versus what I got. You have to. So there's that. It's also some level of what was that question? What was that question?
The level of trust?
No, your original question.
About the challenges?
Yes. Okay. So it's a challenge trying to balance that, you know, because it's key that your client trusts you, because that way is part of the value, it's part of the respect that we've been talking about.
As the first female president of EXMAN, how would you assess the association's, the outcome of the association's summits and awards?
We had a good one. I think we had a good one this year. It's been good, and as with everything else, every year it gets better and better. But this year, I think that what we've been able to do to an extent was kind of strengthen industry alignments, you understand, and we're going to hopefully get better as years come by on. So like I mentioned, the university students was one of the elements of the Brand Experience Summit. And it was really a great one for all of us. And we had so many speakers that were relevant to this young adults. And it was a learning curve for all of us, even listening there, seated there, listening to some things. So I think for me, it was a, what's the word now? It was an opportunity for us to strengthen industry alignments, plus the fact that we also had people from other sectoral groups in there also participating in the Brand Experience Summit. So for us, and I think we're also able to elevate standards, and by His grace, we're upping up the ante more and more. Like I said, it's been, I mean, EXMAN is, I think, 12 years or 13 this year, and the Brand Experience Summit is 3 years old. Yeah, I think that was the third one. So we're up in the ante.
Reflecting on the theme of last year's summit, what lessons stood out the most for you?
So the theme, personalization at scale, from insights to data relevance or something like that, for me was, I mean, the biggest lesson learned was relevance must be intentional. We brought in, I don't know if you remember, Miss Victoria from TVC, where she talked about the elements of personalization, where they were the ones that brought the first, I think, AI speaking news reporters, speaking the different languages and all of that. Why? It was relevant to who we are. So you find out that whatever it is that you're doing in terms of that, it must be, your relevance must be intentional, you understand? Execution must also be accountable. Again, at the beginning of this conversation, we had that where we said, you are executing. Have you taken into consideration the data that has been picked? Okay, you've taken into consideration the data. How have you imputed it into what you're doing? Have you taken feedback after that? So you've taken one data, you've imputed it, and you have sat down, you've done something. No, you've not done anything. It's a consistent thing. So you found out that your execution must also be actionable. Then you're not chasing trends. I mean, you find out that a lot of times when they're doing all those TikTok things, everybody wants to be, but what you shouldn't do is chase trends. What you want to chase is the audience truth. What is the audience? What's your consumer after? What makes them tick? You understand? Those are the things. And then at the end of the day, measurements must also be planned from the start. And yeah, so the work is not always just about creativity. It's work that is embedded in insights. It's work that is embedded in data. So you are personalizing experiences for the consumer based on your understanding of them. So you have taken insights and you've taken it into the actual activities that you're doing. So you have a top-notch whiskey brand or something. You're not going to take them to Mushi market to say that people should come and go and be dancing. You understand? You create something that speaks to the people that drinks, and then it's personalization. And for instance, there are some cars, when you want to buy them, you do test drives. They don't even follow you. I don't know if you've experienced that. I've done a couple. They don't follow you. You drive the car around, you experience it. So what they've said is our clients, the kind of people that we are selling cars to, they won't steal our car. So that's personalization at scale. And you are taking that from insight into data. So that's, yeah.
Great lessons. I've taken out my notes too. Now let's talk about Aster Integrated Marketing Limited. 7 years. How would you describe the journey?
Hard. Hard. But I mean, it's been a journey of intentional growth by the grace of the Almighty. I mean, I always say that Aster, I talked about the DNA of Aster. So Aster has been something that's growth based on intentional growth, discipline amongst us and the people. I talked about Asterians as well earlier. And today, Asterians, past and present, are a thing for Aster. Even our old staff today are still present. They are still part of the company because that DNA is something that takes us anywhere in the world. You see people travel now from here. They will go and look for their colleagues because they're still our colleagues. So it's been hard, but by the grace of the Almighty, it's been something that by the depth of belief of the people and hard work and a lot of discipline, we move.
What defining moment really showed the tenacity and resilience of Aster Integrated Marketing Limited in this past 7 years?
So one would be our first ever win as Aster. So starting up at Aster, I think even I should take that as well. I even sent him a message on that day, and the message was, thank you very much for believing in us and trusting in us. So that was a client that stayed with us because we had moved from somewhere into Aster. But the first one for us was winning a pitch, our first pitch ever that we won. And it was instrumental because I remember the first pitch we had pitched, and one of them was rather very big, and I was going out one day, and I think, you know, that kind of a mail comes in or you get a call, something, it was a mail, and we didn't win that pitch, and I was so upset. I was so very upset. I was even thinking to myself, oh, should we turn our office, because we really spent a lot of work putting the office together, should we turn our office into shared space? Should we start, this was I think January or February that year, because we started January, and I think I put a call to someone and they were like, are you all right? That's why you're using your mouth to spoil something that has not even started. So now upon that was now a win with an international client, and that for us was a defining moment for us. It was like, we are not small. We are just new, but we are not small, you know. So that was one. Another one was successfully implementing, again, I love, I mean, the guy I said 7 years, he I think it was first 2 years, I don't want to mention the brand because he's moved on to somewhere else now. Like I said thanks to him because that was somebody else that maybe he had his doubts, maybe he didn't, but he was like, okay, no, that's not a problem. You guys continue running and we'll see how we'll integrate you back into the system, which they did. I will continue. So there was that. So the winning one, that, and then successfully delivering a complex, multi-layered, multi-locationed activity. It was for, again, another international brand. So we got a call from someone from the UK who came into Nigeria and wanted us to go on a recce with them and everything. We went on the recce, we did everything. And finally that culminated into an activity that we ran for 7 days, 3 or 4 different locations. And I mean, it was us coming. We would never have thought that. And we didn't even do that. This was, like I said, I talked about people. I said people. That's when you asked about the 7 years. People for me have been, apart from the Asterians, they have been our suppliers, our partners. They are partners to us, and that's where we're talking about collaborations as well at the beginning. I have some of my partners, when the client was speaking to them, oh yes, it's Madam Tolu, she owns all the equipment, whatever it is she tells us to do. Do you get? And when they were speaking with any of the partners who were suppliers to us, everybody was speaking in the same tone and you were getting the same. So remember when we talked about trust from you. So when it seemed like, at a point when it seemed like everything was going to, before the activity, during setup, it didn't seem like things were going to, people were like, no, don't worry. We have sorted this thing. There's no problem, you know. And then imagine that a client came, the client didn't want to go. You were there with us up until early hours of the morning. And then you come to, I guess you are coming that you are resigned to faith that this is a disaster. And you come, and then she's asking everyone. I'm not sure she ever asked me. She was asking, how did you guys do it? How did you guys? But the people that told you that you should go, so winning our first speech, the successful implementation of a multi-layered, multi-location, over 1 week activity for an international client was another moment for us, defining moment for us at Aster. And then the ability, what's the word now? Our investment in training our leadership pipelines. Remember when we talked about succession plan and all of that? I said to them in the office sometimes that it's like if people want to sack me. I mean, sometimes you are doing some stuff and you'll be like, no, it's sorted. Or why don't you guys, we've done that. And then I just look around and why? There are people say I should not, do you get? And there are times when I'm just not in the country. The company runs. Things are happening, activities are happening, activations are happening, and I'm not getting calls. Sometimes they know when you call me first thing in the morning, I'm like, what has happened? That's always my initial question. But I can't remember last time I got. And then now, if they want to call, maybe the first thing is there's no problem. We just thought you get. So that for me, so those 3 things majorly have been over the past 7 years. Like I said, even in terms of that leadership and training, remember I said that Asterians, past and present, the people that have gone, a lot of them, based on what we have given into each other, still look back and say, this helped me. They will tell you specifically what. And I'm thankful for that. And by the grace of the Almighty, I'm looking to many more years of us doing bigger and better.
Looking towards many more years, what's the future for Aster?
The future for us is same. The future for us, honestly, is very bright. It's very bright. I think that what I can say is that the future for Aster Integrated Marketing, working with our collaborators, working with our clients, working with our partners, is great. We're not resting on our oars. We're getting bigger, better, and we're doing more intentional, innovative, immersive, and deeply defined consumer engagements. So watch out for us.
Now, before we let you go, what's your dream for experiential marketing in Nigeria in the future?
My dream for experiential marketing. So I'm going to read this because I always write it down. It's something that, you know, when the Bible talks about writing down your vision and running with it, it's something that I always have it. You get, I always use it. And so I said, as EXMAN, our focus is to deepen professionalism, improve measurements, and build a sustainable talent pipeline for the future. Why? EXMAN, which is Experiential Marketers Association of Nigeria, is not just about putting together tables and chairs and all of that. No, It's actually a professional body of people who are creative, who are innovative, who essentially bring value to bear to their clients and to the consumers by creating experiences that connects you and holds you to and with the brand. You understand? And if we're not building that pipeline of talents, at some point it's going to fizzle out. I said, I don't want to be a one-man company. I want a conglomerate. And I want a conglomerate that is built around experiential. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that only by investing in the younger people that we're taking along, by investing in technology, as you've said, and by actually building value and letting the clients see that these people actually have something that makes sense and something to bear. So yeah, that for me.
Thank you for having this conversation with us.
Thank you for having me. I hope so.
I've been speaking with the president, Experiential Marketers Association of Nigeria, EXMAN. She's also the lead strategist and consultant, Aster Integrated Marketing Limited, Tolulope Medebem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the conversation continues on our website, www.marketingedge.com.ng, and you can also follow us on all our social media handles at Marketing Edge. My name is Bababumi Agbibi.